Well, I'm super excited to take a few moments to share more information with you about our all-new licensing and certification program. Now, of course, if you're on my email list, if you're on my text message list, if you're anywhere near anything that I'm doing, I'm sure you've already gotten information from me, and maybe you've already visited my university platform and you have read through the catalog, and of course you've probably already seen the price of our licensing and certification program. However, just within the last 6 weeks since we've launched it for 2022, I've had quite a few people reach out to me, ask questions about our licensing and certification program, and just wanted more clarity, more understanding, more information on what the licensing and certification program is about, how it works, and what exactly is the benefit of becoming a certified coaching consultant under my banner and being licensed under my banner. So I want to take a few minutes to share this information with you. And again, even if it's not for you, maybe you know someone who's either a coach, a consultant or trainer, or who intends to move into the coaching, the consulting and training space, but just don't understand what exactly they're doing, and they need some education, they need some training, they need someone to mentor them in that. And so I'll start by saying, first and foremost, my wife and I, we started out 19 years ago as a two-person real estate team. And the unique thing about real estate is it gave us an easy entrance into consulting, because you're pretty much consulting clients on any level when you're in real estate, when you're in lending, when you're providing certain services like that. And so because my wife and I started building so many amazing relationships, we're talking about 19 years ago, we started consulting investors. We started consulting landlords and individuals who wanted to move into investing but just didn't know the business side of it, the financial side of it, and they just didn't know how to set up the right structures to succeed in real estate investing. And of course, after several years of my wife and I providing those services, it opened the door for us to move into the commercial space, and we started providing consulting to those who were working with developers, associations, property management companies. And it was definitely a more sophisticated area of consulting, but we realized that the services of consulting, the services of coaching, the services of training were not just needed for people who were in real estate, but these services were needed for individuals who wanted to figure out what direction to go with their finances, entrepreneurs who just didn't know how to properly start, structure, and scale their businesses, or how to expand it, or what systems were needed. And so that's what brought about my wife and I launching our coaching program, our now millionaire mentorship program. It played a very important role in us launching Ramon Preston University and our Millionaire Blueprint, to make sure that we were providing these sophisticated consulting and coaching services in a way that was easy for people to get access to, but also it was affordable, because in the real estate arena, especially when you're consulting associations and divisions, and you're consulting developers and investors, they have so much money, they care nothing about maybe a $10,000 to $20,000 consulting charge to help figure out what their issues are. Now, with that being said, the consulting space, outside of just coaching and education, the consulting space is a very tight-knit space. Just in case you don't know that, and you probably know that by now, because consulting firms are very sophisticated, they cost a lot of money, and they typically don't do business with individuals or entrepreneurs or business owners who do not have the financial backing to afford their services, whether it's short-term or long-term. And most consulting firms, they have proprietary systems and processes, meaning that whatever the systems are that most consulting firms use to provide their services, whatever the processes are that they use, they don't just give that secret sauce away, because they're not going to empower their competition to do what they're doing or to even do better. They're going to keep it within themselves. And when they hire people to join their consulting firms, you typically have to sign a non-disclosure agreement, meaning that you're not going to disclose this information to anyone else. You have to sign a non-compete agreement when you leave that firm. And I've talked to people who have left firms like that and who've had to sign 5-year non-compete agreements, meaning that they promised not to start a competing business for at least 5 years, and it couldn't be within a certain range of where that particular company was. Now, why is that important for what I want to share with you about our licensing and certification program? Well, because if you are intending to become a coach, even if it's not a business and financial coach, it may be a life coach, it may be a transformational coach, it may be a health coach, it may be a relationship coach. What you may not understand is that space of coaching is extremely saturated. And coaching outside of consulting and training, just coaching alone, is more of a personal, practical version of what you may understand to be a more professional, sophisticated version of consulting. Now, again, this is a learning curve. This is something that you have to be able to differentiate. But just to explain what I want to explain to you and make my point, if you are intending to be a coach, maybe you're already a coach. You probably already see that it's a very competitive market. There is so much supply that the demand for your services are low, and it's very hard to acquire clients. But guess what? Whether it's coaching, consulting, or just training and education, information is everywhere. So you have to have a very unique way of providing coaching and consulting and training, not just to get the attention of people in the market who may not even know they need what you have, but to even acquire them. And so this is why I wanted to put together a licensing and certification program. Number one is because I believe our community, the faith community, we need people who could level up to become more professional experts as consultants, coaches, and trainers and influencers. We need more of that, not just in the ministry, but we definitely need that in the marketplace. Number two, I also know that once we start making this evolution into the marketplace as experts, be it consultants, coaches, and trainers, it's going to make our communities, our churches, and the people that are in our ecosystem, it's going to make their lives and it's going to make their businesses better. So I don't want to just go into these rants. I want to be very clear with you so that you can understand what my licensing and certification program is about. Now, why am I referring to this program as a licensing and certification program? Because it's actually two programs that I'm merging into one. On one hand, I'm providing a certification. I hope I spelled that right. Certification. My Google board is a little slow, but I'm providing a certification for coaches and consultants. So what that means is I am training you on the systems and the processes that I use to provide consulting and coaching to my clients. Now, my systems and my processes are proprietary, just like any other consulting firm, which means that these are the systems and processes I've created. I actually have a 5-step process that I use, but it's proprietary because it's not something you're going to find other people using in the way that I use it and my company uses it. But I do know that if you're going to consult, if you're going to coach, if you're going to become a trainer and an influencer, you have to have the right system and the right process on how to get the attention of potential clients. How are you going to walk that potential prospect or lead through client acquisition? Do you have a client acquisition process? Once you acquire the client, what is your onboarding process? Once you onboard the client, what is going to be your assessing process? How are you going to assess that client? How are you going to develop the game plan for that client to make sure that you get them from goal to the result? So this is an entire system with processes that you have to learn if you're going to be successful as a coach and as a consultant, which by default, as a coach and a consultant, you're going to be a trainer. So with this program that I've introduced for the last 6 weeks, I am providing the training for you to be a legitimate certified coach and consultant. Now, I know a lot of people who have gone to certain schools, they've gone to certain institutions, they've taken certain courses, and they've come out with papers to say, hey, I am a certified coach, I'm a certified consultant, I'm a licensed trainer. The problem is they don't know how to actually do it. All they do is just say that this is who they are and this is what they do, but they don't know how to actually do it, because this is a profession in and of itself. It's a space, it's an industry in and of itself, and you have to know exactly what you're doing. And if you have not realized it, you will realize that you may get some of the information for this space on the surface, but the real secret sauce is something that most people are not going to give you, especially if that's the business that they're in. They're not going to teach you for a couple $1,000 their secret sauce so that you could go out there and be their competition. It's just not going to happen. And guess what? I'm not going to do it either. This is one of the reasons why, along with the certification, I am providing a license, because I know if you go out there and I train you on my systems, on my processes, and you're able to use it, well, unless you are licensed to utilize that information, unless you are certified to have access to the curriculum, to the material, to the intellectual assets of what that business actually looks like, when you provide it to a client, you're still not going to be able to do it. This is why we have a marketplace full of people who are consultants, they're coaches, they're trainers. They have no material, they have no curriculum, they have no content, they have no processes, they have no systems. And I want to change that narrative. Let me change this right here. I'm not going to say I want to change it. I am changing the narrative, because I have built a 7-figure business on professional, sophisticated consulting, coaching, and training. And I know I have the capacity and the capabilities of helping you do the same. So this licensing and certification program is going to offer you the training that you need to really become a legitimate certified coaching consultant. You're going to know what system to use, what process. If you don't have your own, you're going to be licensed to use mine. As a matter of fact, because you are a licensee, you're not only coming into partnership with me, because it is a partnership. It's very similar to purchasing a franchise. You're not reinventing the wheel when you purchase a McDonald's franchise or a Starbucks franchise, but you're just licensing the intellectual assets of their brand, their products, their services, their systems, their processes for what they do and how they do it, and it's making your life easy. Not only am I giving you this information for the certification training, but as a licensee, I'm going to show you how to structure your entire business system around coaching, consulting, and training. Now, if you have been a part of any of my workshops, if you have been a part of any of my masterminds, God knows if you're one of my clients or if you're one of my students, you're already familiar with some of this language. And you may have had an opportunity to go through an assessment or some sit down in a session with me to see that the potential of what you are able to do, if you not only got trained to do it, but if you had access to the information and the material and the curriculum, it could just skyrocket your business. So I'm going to be hosting our first licensing and certification training here in person. It's going to be our first one. We have our first licensees who have come on, and we're going to be hosting our first training right here in person on Monday, February the 28th at 10 o'clock a.m. I would love for you to be a part of it. So if you know you want to be in the coaching space. You know you want to be a consultant. You want to be a trainer, an influencer, and a speaker. And not only do you want to know how to do it, but you want to be able to have the right systems to use, the processes to use. You want to learn how to get the attention, how to acquire the clients, how to onboard them, how to service them and process them, and how to bring them through your programs, your systems, and your services. And along with that, you also want to be able to have the authorization to use everything that I have, that I use to do what I'm doing, because I'm teaching you the same system, the same process. I'm teaching you the same things that I have used to build my business, because we're partners. You're a licensee. You're certified under me. So my reputation, my name is on the line, and I have so many different strategies that I can show my licensees on how to literally monetize your business immediately. For example, just give you one example. Our digital program is called the Millionaire Blueprint. If you have not been introduced to that program, or maybe you have, it is an amazing 5-step wealth building system. It's my personal playbook. It is a business and financial training program. It's online, it's education, it's training, it's a lot of lessons, a lot of how-tos, a lot of tutorials. It's just a very, very expanded, exhaustive version, and it's one of the best in the market. I know a lot of my competitors who teach and educate people on business and finance, and their prices are through the roof, and they're nowhere near as good as what we provide just in that one digital program. Well, I'm giving you an example. As a licensee, you can become an authorized reseller. So what that means is you can use your business, use your name, use your brand, and you can offer the Millionaire Blueprint through your business. And when people buy it, when they sign up and become members of it, guess what? You're getting that monetization. We actually have a 90-10 revenue share split with our licensees. So that means if you sell that $1,500 program, the 90-10 revenue share is 10% to Ramon Preston University. That's $150, and that would be $1,350 to you. So just think about it. You can literally sell a digital product just by becoming a licensee. You don't have to do any courses. You don't have to teach any workshops. You don't have to pull teeth. You don't have to do anything but just introduce people to a program that's changing lives, and you can monetize and make $1,350 per transaction. So literally, if you paid for the entire licensing program in full, I can definitely guarantee you, strategically, you can put together a plan to get that money back, your whole investment back, and remain a licensee over the course of your relationship with me. So that's just one strategy. I have many more strategies. And guess what? I'm offering a payment plan option so you don't have to pay it all in full. Because again, I don't want to just certify you, train you, and license you to give you access to all of this information so you're not, like hitting a brick wall, beating a dead horse, trying to reinvent the wheel, and it never works. But I'm looking at it as a partnership. I want to partner with people. One of my goals is to have licensees all around the world, definitely in the United States of America, and particularly in many cities that I know are looking to move into the digitization of this world. And guess what? Studies are already showing by 2025, the consulting, coaching, and educational space online in particular, it is going to be a $350 billion industry. And I think those numbers are low, because that's really just towards the online education. If you add the consulting and the coaching with the strategies that we're using and with what we've proven to work for individuals and entrepreneurs, I believe that number is closer to 500 billion. So I want you to get in. I want you to be a part of it. I want to train you personally. I want to give you my secret sauce. I'm literally pivoting my entire organization to be the industry leader in coaching coaches, consulting consultants, training trainers to build 6- and 7-figure businesses. And I want you to be one of the first millionaires in 2022 to come out of this incubator, to come out of this program, leading, succeeding, and building a legacy for you and for your family. So all you have to do is just text the word certify to 678-922-1963. You can text that. I'll reach back out to you so we can set up and schedule a conversation, whether it's in person, over the phone, or Zoom. And guess what? You can even join me on Monday, February the 28th at 10 o'clock a.m. for our first licensing and certification training. It's going to be amazing. My intention in this first training is to make sure that every licensee that walks out of my headquarters, they're walking out of here knowing exactly what to do to start making phone calls, reaching out to people who may already be warm leads, hot leads, or cold leads, introducing them to what we're offering with our product lineup, whether it's coaching products that we put together for you, consulting products that we put together for you, and training products that we put together for you, whether they're just yours, that you're taking my information and curriculum and repurposing with your name and brand, or whether you're just outsourcing it temporarily until you make enough money, monetize enough, and have the flexibility and freedom to start creating your own. Either way, it's a win-win situation. So I look forward to hearing from you. All you have to do is text the word certify to 678-922-1963. And if you want to go back and take a look at our catalog that highlights a lot of the details of what our licensing and certification program is, feel free to go to RamonPreston.com/certify. Love you, praying for you. And again, if it's not you who's looking to succeed in this space, please share it with people that you know that have that ability, they have that gift, they have that calling, they feel like this is their mission, to be coaches, to be consultants, and be trainers, and they just don't know where to start. Tell them they could start here, and we're going to make sure they finish strong.